Get ready for the best in American short track stock car racing. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is coming at you here on Speed. All the big guns going to one of the great racetracks on the circuit, Dixie Speedway, nearing its 40th anniversary, and all the superstars want to get the win. Who gets it? You find out next on Speed. The incredible competition of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series roars deep into the heart of Dixie, Woodstock, Georgia, Dixie Speedway, and you're going to see all the action here on Speed. Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas. James Essex alongside for our K&N Filters Track Facts.
Dixie Speedway, one of the most famous tracks in the South, Scott. NASCAR's Bill Elliott began his racing career back in the early 70s, but it's been a man from Illinois. Shannon Babby's won the last two Dixie shootouts.
And coming in tonight, we are getting down to the late stages of the battle for the championship. Everybody who wants to finish in that top 10 needs a good performance. Here's a look at those points, and as Ken mentioned, O'Neill's got to get to work. He's got to make up over 300.
Even if he wins all three of the remaining shows, Scott, with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, it's going to be very difficult with Pearson leading right now.
The lineup, James and Babb on row 1.
It's Scott Bloomquist, Mark Douglas,
Jake Knowles, and Michael England in row 3.
Current points leader Earl Pearson Jr. alongside Clint Smith.
Then we go to row 5, Frank Ingram joined by Wendell Wallace.
It's Matt Miller and Steve Casebolt.
We move to row 7, Ray Cook and Shane Clanton.
Row 8 will be Marshall Green and the veteran Skip Art.
Tony Knowles and Clure in row 9.
Series regulars Donnie Moran, Don O'Neill, row 10.
And in 11, Randy Weaver, Ronnie Lee Hollingsworth.
Our provisionals, Freddie Smith and Damon Eller, Scott.
We are getting ready to bring it to the green flag, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at fabulous Dixie Speedway. We are thrilled that you're here on Speed, and as we get so close to crowning the champion, every single lap is critical. Here's the green flag.
50 laps in length tonight, $10,000 to win. Also the bonus up for grabs for a previous Dixie shootout winner that can come through. As mentioned earlier, Shannon Babb's won 2 in a row.
You got to believe that Babb thinks he's the man to beat coming into this race, but Scott James really cracks the whip on the start. Nice start. We're on board today with Scott Bloomquist. Great shot coming off the rear deck lid of the Bloomquist number 0.
Scott Bloomquist and their little brother Cole, Hawkeye Trucking entry. 8 series wins so far this season with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, Scott.
It's around the outside of Jake Knowles in this battle for third, so put Bloomquist in the number 3 spot. He figures to be a force here in this race and deep in the heart of Dixie.
On board with Earl Pearson Jr., currently leading the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points, trying to make it back-to-back national titles, Scott.
Interesting that really, as we watch Jake Knowles and Michael England in that battle for fourth, from Pearson's perspective, he wants to get a win, but he's got to be a little bit conservative. That's a big point lead he brings here to Dixie.
Well, Don O'Neill, about this same time a year ago, had a big point lead and let it slip away as Pearson captured the 2005 title. Right here at Dixie, 3 wide racing going on.
Well, he certainly saw how to do it last year. He doesn't want to let Don O'Neill pull out that same page from his recipe book as we continue on. Great racing. You can see how smooth and beautiful this racetrack is. That's why a lot of the drivers love it. They really can get a good feel for their race cars and make a handle on this racetrack.
Well, this track opened back in the late 1960s. The Swims family, they promoted it since 1976, Scott.
As we mentioned right off the bat, too, awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Bill Elliott got his first feature win of any kind right here at this racetrack, and what a career it propelled him to, of course. Well, right now, these guys, all in the middle of great dirt racing careers, the best of the best, are on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and you are seeing them battle. This is why everybody loves the Dirt Series so much with Lucas Oil. It is this nose-to-tail, side-by-side, 3 wide, 4 wide racing all over this wide racetrack.
The battle here between Tennessee's Mark Douglas, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series regular Michael England, and the youngster you see, Jake Knowles in the 66 car leading this group of drivers.
A great start to this race. We are 8 laps in, and Shannon Babb has moved to the point. Back with more in a minute. Welcome back to Dixie. It's Dixie Speedway, Woodstock, Georgia. Scott Douglas, James Essex, and Kent Stout. Thrilled to have you along with the best seat in the house for all the thrills of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And at the front of the pack, neither Shannon Babb nor Scott James must have given their spot up. And Babb, who has owned this track in recent years, obviously thinks he still owns it.
Corey picked up the tail end of the pack, putting a lap unbelievably on Donnie Moran, series regular. Scott, who's currently 3rd in the points. Shannon Babb looking good right now in that Car City J&J sponsored entry.
You know, you can almost put a line like that on your resume along with the win. Hey, I lapped Donnie Moran. It doesn't happen very often.
Incredible, the $1 Million Man, 4-time World 100 champion. Of course, right here, a battle between Shane Clanton in 25 and Skip Arp in 97.
You get a look at the ticker as it goes lap by lap, keeping you up to date on where your favorite driver is in the field here for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at Dixie Speedway. And what we love to do, fans, is make sure that you see the racing all the way through the back, including getting you on board. We're taking a ride right now with Steve Casebolt. James, I love to get inside the cockpit here. Look how focused these guys are, and you just can't blink for a second or you're going to lose a spot here.
That's a D-shaped oval here, and of course, the movie Six Pack, Kenny Rogers, they filmed that movie out here at Dixie Speedway.
So much history in this racetrack, and it is one of those events that drivers circle on their calendar each and every year on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Nobody, of course, circles it more than Shannon Babb, who continues to lead up front as we work our way through and show you some of the battles on different spots of this racetrack. And that is one of the things that makes this one of the most exciting tickets you can buy to see an event live, is when you get here to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, you don't just watch the leader. You're going to see action all through the racetrack. Every position is in contention.
And Earl Pearson, the number 1 car, the Lucas Oil Dunbenson Ford entry. You see right here, Scott, in our in-car camera shot, and Shannon Babb. Now Scott James starting to challenge him for the lead.
I didn't think James was going to let him go, and he certainly has. And he laid back for a little bit, but now James cracks the whip, moves right back up on the rear deck lid of the leader. For the moment, he holds him off. Let's look at this battle for fourth between Jake Knowles and Clint Smith.
Clint Smith has never won the Dixie Shootout. Veteran driver here. His father, Roscoe Smith, also ran here many times. Never won the Dixie Shootout either.
Back up front is Shannon Babb, continuing to hold off the advances of James, as James will give him a little room now. Let him have a little space, but it won't be long. Scott will just kind of let him have a little rope and then try to find a way to make a move. It may be lap traffic that will give James his best shot to get around Babb, I would think.
Not only Scott James is Babb have to worry about, but here comes Scott Bloomquist.
We're nearing the halfway point at Dixie. Back with more on speed. Don't go away. Late Model Dirt Series on speed past the halfway point of the Dixie Shootout at Dixie Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia. Shannon Babb in the 18, Scott James in the 83 continue to be the guys to beat, although that 0 is lurking as Scott Bloomquist continues to draw in on our top 2. Now we look at the battle for 6th. See Mark Douglas holding that spot.
Great job by Mark Douglas. Only his first appearance of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Scott running very well here tonight at Dixie.
And we got to look just a moment ago at Earl Pearson Jr. He currently is in 9th as we go on board with Pearson, and he'd like to get a few more spots. Again, with that kind of a point lead, he just needs to stay out of trouble.
He's trying to stay out of trouble. You see Ray Cook pressuring right there in the Arville Cook Investments entry.
A name that you haven't heard a whole lot if you watch just the series, but Cook is a guy who's been able to make a name for years and certainly has racked up his share of wins, especially in this part of the Southeast. A racer in that 53 car out of North Carolina, but loves to come down here to Dixie and has had success here before.
Well, our first visit back in April at Dixie Speedway, Scott Cook won his first ever Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series event in a very exciting finish.
He's in a battle right now there, as you can see, with the points leader, Earl Pearson Jr. We're going to back up front now as Scott James again has decided to apply the pressure. But look at that 0. We told you Bloomquist was coming. Here comes Scott Bloomquist on the outside, and he is not going to sit back and wait.
Also, Cat Daddy Clint Smith is in there in that number 44 car. We got a great race to lead all 4 cars together, Scott.
I think James sees he's got to go now because Bloomquist is going to push him. He can no longer wait and just mess with Shannon Babb. He's got to deal with Bloomquist. Scott James can't wait or he's going to be 3rd.
Well, and both of them better watch out because Clint Smith in the 44 car making his presence known. Everybody else, we've got Tennessee, Indiana, and Illinois. Clint Smith, the only Georgian right now in the top 4.
4 cars battling at the front for the lead. Bloomquist will take a shot at second. He goes to the outside, tries the high side around Scott James. That's for second, and they're right on the rear deck lid of Shannon Babb. And so James tries to stick his nose inside of the leader. So now it's a 3-way battle, and they're going for the number 1 spot.
Wow, almost 3 wide into the corner, Scott. And Shannon Babb, though, holds him up.
Oh, my, what a move. What a move, James. Did you see Bloomquist split the difference? But we've got a caution. Oh, I wish that yellow hadn't have flown then because I wanted to see if that move was going to stick up. You rarely see somebody try to dissect 2 sliding dirt cars like that. Bloomquist stuck it in there and looked like he was going to make it work.
And the yellow comes out for Damon Eller, Scott.
We got to talk earlier, James, you and I, about Ray Cook and the success he's had. Well, Ken Stout dug a whole lot deeper into a top racer from the Southeast. Red Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and the only place you catch it is right here on Speed. We're at Dixie Speedway for the Dixie Shootout. Can't wait to get this green flag back out. James Essex, explain a little bit about the Delaware double file restart.
Well, once a lap has been scored in Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, a main competition, Scott would go to the Delaware double file restart. That means a leader out in front by himself, driver running second, which was Scott James. Picks inside or out. He picked inside on that one. By the way, that was our first yellow of the race for Damon.
It was, and they've been cranking, and we're battling up front again. Now remember, Scott Bloomquist was really attacking the top two. It has been Babb and James from the beginning. Bloomquist has been the man on the mission of late. He may start to run out of laps, though, if he can't dispatch James, because Babb is starting to get away from him.
Well, he's going to dispatch him right now, Scott, as he'll go around Scott James for second place. Scott James right there in third, Clint Smith is fourth, and Jake Knowles still running in fifth.
The problem if you're Shannon Babb is that Scott Bloomquist is not going to set you up and let you know where he's coming from. He may take you low, he may take you high, and when you least expect it, he'll pull the move you don't see coming.
Seems like he waits to the end of the race sometimes, Scott. You don't know he's out there, but he waits for everybody to mess up a break, and then it's his chance to win.
Doesn't look like he's going to wait on this one. He is applying the pressure right now to Babb. Let's see what Ken Stout thinks on his view from the pits.
Hey guys, Scott Bloomquist changed all the ignition parts on that car, all the electronics, 2, possibly even 3 times, because they could not find the problem. Finally, they figured it out. Nothing to do with the ignition at all. What it was doing was sucking a fuel line closed, so they weren't getting all the fuel they needed. Needless to say, they found that problem. It's getting all the fuel it needs now.
He is making his move. He looks inside. Let's tip the hat to Shannon Babb. Not intimidated. Babb is not going away. If Bloomquist is going to get this one, he's going to have to earn it.
Well, Shannon Babb doing everything he can to keep Bloomquist behind him, but not right now, Scott. On the front of Scott Bloomquist's car, it says no weak links. That's their motto. Right now,
he's taking the lead, and he's pulling away immediately. He opens up some breathing room, and now we've got a battle for third. We had talked about Clint Smith. He is really going to challenge Scott James for the number 3 spot.
Well, Scott James at Powell Motorsports Rocket doing very well here tonight, running the third spot. Clint Smith, the JP Drilling entry, right there as well.
And we'll go through the field and look at some of the battles that we see all over this racetrack, and we're going to get a caution. Lap 41, James, looks like a big mess.
Well, Michael England, the 5E car involved there. Only our second caution, and Earl Pearson Jr. on board with him. We'll take a look at what he sees.
Earl Pearson Jr., the points leader, and as we mentioned, you got to be able to stay out of trouble with that big points lead. All he wants to do is not get in trouble, and this is not what Earl Pearson Jr. was ordering up today.
Well, apparently no contact from anyone else out there, so Earl Pearson looks pretty good to continue in this race, Scott.
Well, we've got a yellow. Let's take a moment and look. He's really a guy who just brightens everything up around him, and he does have the respect and the love of everybody, not just the fans, but the racers themselves.
No doubt about a great man, Mike Swims. Great crowd he's got on here tonight, and we've seen a great race also, Scott.
And we're not done either, James, because here we go. We're getting down to the final lap. Bloomquist now gets on the point of that Delaware double file restart, and he's like shot out of a cannon. Look at him go.
4 to go. The Miller Brothers, Cole Hawkeye Trucking. Bloomquist, his own self-designed chassis, running well here tonight at Dixie, looking for another shootout win in his career.
He's decided that the battle on this racetrack is going to be for second, third, and fourth, because Scott Bloomquist is checking out. And there is a battle for fourth. Those were the guys battling for the lead earlier. Babb and James, they're not just trying to hang in there in the top 5.
Well, meanwhile, Shannon Babb has faded back to about 6th or 7th. Now, Wendell Wallace, a former shootout winner in the 88 car, now on the move, trying to get around Scott James.
It is Scott Bloomquist and then everybody else here in the Dixie shootout. And you can see they are really burning it up side by side, because in the final laps, you give up one little spot, it's going to cost you a whole bunch at the pay window.
Wendell Wallace around Scott James. You see the 9 of former Dixie Speedway track champion Frank Ingram there. White flag is out. We're on the final lap. Bloomquist in front.
Yeah, we're going to tell you, Scott Bloomquist is going to take this baby to the bank. But let's watch some of these battles back through the pack. They are tight, and everybody trying to grab one more spot before the checkered falls. But coming to the checkers, it's Scott Bloomquist with another victory. James, he keeps piling them up.
9 so far in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series season, and a second spot to Clint Smith, and our driver profile earlier, Ray Cook, comes across in third. Good job.
Got to tip the hat to those guys, especially Cook, who we just kept seeing every time would work his way up and work his way up, but nobody worked his way up and made it stick like Scott Bloomquist. There you get a look at the official standings. Scott James ends up in that number 5 spot. Shannon Babb was great early, but fades back to 7th.
Pearson 15th, O'Neill 16th. Pearson hangs on to that solid lead.
Don sure missed a golden opportunity to make up some ground. Let's go to the winner's circle with Ken Stout.
Hey guys, Scott Bloomquist climbing out of this car. Looks like he's gonna bring his. What do you got all over? Man, is that oil, dude?
Yeah, my whole driver's compartment is full of oil. I was getting pretty slippery in there.
What in the world went wrong? Any idea what came apart?
I don't have a clue. I just know it was getting hard to stay on the pedals, but the car was so good, you know, and the engine ran super. You know, we really had a good run. I mean, the car was a little bit loose early. I think it's just the new tires I put on it, and it seemed like after, you know, we got them run in a little bit, then we got pretty good, and it was really good at the end. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, about 10 laps to go here, and you were in third place, kind of biding your time for the longest time, and then with about 10 to go, you stepped on the throttle, baby, and this thing really came in good.
Well, no doubt. You know, I saw Clint Smith got under me there, and I knew it was now or never. You know, we've been running a little higher, and finally, like I said, it felt like the tires started getting good, and the high groove. The car actually liked the middle and a little higher more, and it looked like some of the boys hung a little bit when they got up high. But I'll tell you, it was really good. It's super.
There's the standings now. Don O'Neill does not make up any ground on Earl Pearson Jr., so Pearson comes out and gets away with a 15th place finish.
Johnny Moran still solid third, then Matt Miller and Scott James your top 5.
All-star performer of the race, of course, Ray Cook. The quartermaster cool move of the race to Clint Smith, and the Hawk Brake Tough Brake Award goes to Earl Pearson Jr. How about our K&N Filters Clean Path? You know what this is.
The Miller Brothers, Cole, Hawkeye, Trucking Entry, Bloomquist Race Cars for the lead. Scott on round Shannon Babb, and he goes on for his 9th series win.
The K&N Filters Clean Pass takes you to victory lane. Your winner, Scott Bloomquist. Make sure you join us every time here on Speed for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. It does not get any better. For Ken Stout and James Dusek, I'm Scott Douglas. See you next time on Speed.